Thank you so much, Dr. Cohen. I can't imagine every single day doing what you guys do, and just appreciate your heart and staying with it. Our last speaker, and then I'll close, is the violence here in Chicago is uniquely bad, pandemic level, epidemic level, but violence plagues our entire country. And Paul Carrillo works for former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. Gabby Giffords, you may know, was just at a community event, suffered a devastating injury. Other folks were killed, and she's devoted her life to trying to make communities here in Chicago and across the country safer. She wanted to be here today. Not easy for her to travel. She got stuck in the storms in Dallas, but so thankful Paul could be here and want him to deliver a couple words to give us a little bit of a national perspective of what we're trying to do in Chicago, what it means for the rest of the nation. Paul?
All right. What's good, Chicago? Thank you, Arnie. As Arnie mentioned, Gabby is in Texas. She couldn't be here today, so I'm pinch hitting. I'm from Los Angeles, and I come in peace. I'm checking in. This is my official check-in, all right? As you all know, Gabby is a survivor of violence and is a strong advocate dedicated to reducing gun violence in our communities, and that also includes the important work that you all do. It's an honor for me to be here and walk in and see a lot of friends, a lot of familiar faces. I feel like in many ways this is a second home for me. I see brothers and sisters from READY, CRED, Institute for Nonviolence Chicago, UCAN, Corners, CP4P, Metropolitan Family Services, on and on. Specific people like Chris, Brother Malvin, who I know is not here, Eddie, Vaughn, Tanny, Jalen, Patrick, Norman, Soledad, Susan, Charvo, Chico, many others. My apologies if I didn't mention your name. I started coaching Little League baseball once again. Raise your hand if you've ever coached any of your kids in any organized sports. Anybody? That's right. Okay. So my son is 6 years old, and when they're that young, they allow the parents to stand on the field and kind of coach on the field, right? So I'm standing next to the mound, and a kid from the other team is coming to play defense, so he's getting himself ready at the mound, right? Teams are switching fields. And his shoelace is untied, 6 years old. So he stops and he looks at me and he says, "Can you tie my shoe?" And my instinct was, "Brother, you play for the other team." I didn't say that, but I thought it. And then I felt like a dirtbag. I said, wait a minute, this young man, this kid is 6 years old. He don't know about like who's who and what team and the score. Like, he sees me as a trusted adult and he's got a need and he says, "Can you help me tie my shoes?" So I felt horrible and I tied it, but that sat with me for a few days and it bothered me. And it kind of got me to thinking, like, why did I have that thought, right? Like, what was going through my head? And so I think for us, what happens sometimes is we're very prideful, right, of our neighborhoods and the communities that we come from, the organizations that we represent, which is all valid. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we have differences of opinion, differences of models, differences in research, and we kind of get stuck in our cliques, right? And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but I shared that story just to encourage you all. I see brotherhood and sisterhood here, and to just think about tying someone's shoelace who you haven't really messed with for a few years for whatever reason. Obviously, short of like a cardinal sin somebody committed and you just got to cut them loose for the rest of your life, right? But I just want to encourage you all, if you wouldn't mind allowing me just to recommend that you take a look around and maybe somebody that before you leave today needs a hug or a handshake or "How you doing?" that you haven't said that to in a few months or a few years, right? And it doesn't mean perhaps that I'm not suggesting that you perhaps get over or forget maybe wrongdoings that have happened in the past, but nevertheless, just to be that bigger person and extend that olive branch. So I will leave you all with that. You are all doing God's work. Thank you for the work that you do. Blessed are the peacemakers, and God bless you.